What's up, y'all? We live. If you can see me and hear me, give me a 5x5, please. No fancy intro or anything like that when we do this kind of thing here. What in the world's going on? I guess we're live here. Let's see. You'd figure I'd be a little bit better at this after so long, but no. Looks like we're 5x5. What's up, y'all? So, yeah, if this is your first time here, we do these once a month, or we're supposed to. This one's a little overdue. And there are no notes or anything. I actually have a blank piece of paper or note card because I'm going to let y'all tell me what we're talking about during tomorrow morning's live stream. But we just come over here and hang out. The chat is much slower here on Patreon. I appreciate y'all supporting me outside of YouTube. A lot of people have this misconception that YouTubers make a ton of money. Some of them probably do, but y'all know that car. What is it called? Maserati, I think. It's more like Mazda Roddy when you're YouTubing. So I did Bama Jen. I had a long day with Caveman James. I sure enough did. Let me see. I might still be able to. So yeah, I drove up. We actually got 2 segments filmed. I don't know if y'all know what Crate Club is. You might. It's kind of like Battle Box, but I don't work with them and stuff like that. Somebody brought it up a couple of months ago. I was sort of hesitant because it's $399. I went ahead and took the plunge. He helped me review that, and then we went to Walmart. And I gave him, I don't want to spoil too much, but I gave him 15 minutes and a $100 budget. And he's not a prepper, and I just wanted to see what he would buy in those 15 minutes if he knew the apocalypse was coming. And that's coming. That video is going to come Saturday night on Shotgun, and it's pretty hilarious. He's going to die. He's straight up going to die in the apocalypse. Okay, Teresa, I can relate. I'm sorry to hear that. I had it at one point in time, but it's because they gave me really bad glasses at the optometrist. Glasses I didn't really need. So yeah, I can relate. Dang, son, you rich. No, it's USA Prepping. Somebody had brought it up a few months ago, and it's something I've been considering. I wanted to see if it was worth it or not, and I'm still kind of on the fence after reviewing it. Some of the stuff was banging stuff in there, and some of it I wouldn't have put in there, honestly. Yeah, oh, man, I don't want to spoil too much. He almost knocked the display over looking at a young lady. I'll put it to you like that. It's can't miss. What's up, Dynamite? Chris Marie, VR Lab Girl. I guess I can shout everybody out tonight. Queen of NoHo, California, I'm guessing. Tennessee Prepping Lady. Lindsay, Sharon, Tina, how are you doing? Chris, Squatch America. I was lurking a little while ago in y'all's live stream while I was trying to set everything up over here. VR Lab Girl, how you doing? Meg Kennedy, Coffee First, Then Speak. Love the name. Triple T Tony, what's up? So it's wide open tonight. We can literally talk about anything y'all want to. That's how this one works. Michelle, Domestic Goddess, how are you doing? Queen of North Hollywood. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I get it now. I'm a little slow, but I get it now. Yeah, we were shopping, and so many mistakes were made. And he made the comment, well, he literally said on camera, I'll just come to your house and get the gear. You already have the gear. And I said, no, you ain't getting my gear if it hits sideways. So he's kind of a survivalist. He's not really a doomsday prepper. And so it is going to be an exciting watch. Brickman and Jim, how you doing, brother? British Columbia. I saw in mainstream media that he said it was over, but who knows? I mean, who knows with that clown? I'll be honest with you. It could be where they're going to let you taste a little bit of freedom and then take it right back. I really don't know. It's not over in Asia. Shanghai is in dire straits. Beijing is getting pretty bad as well. Phil, how you doing, brother? Man, chat is moving so slow. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm up here like this. Okay, Lindsay, would a suitcase be realistic for part of a bug out bag setup? It's me and 4 kids, and I can only carry so much. So let me give you some advice on that. Anything will work. You know, you can use plastic bags if that's all you got, but some people, especially if your kids are smaller, I tell people this in emails sometimes. If you have small kids or you have elderly parents, grandparents, bugging out does not mean you have to head to the woods or the desert or something, okay? Bugging out can mean you have a plan to stay in a hotel that you've already pinpointed that's 100 miles this way. So you're escaping the immediate threat. You know, if you, for example, if you live in Los Angeles, you identify a decent hotel that's away from the threat. And as the threat approaches, load the car down and go and have that stuff, you know, kind of pre planned out. So, yeah, absolutely, it can work. Anything that's going to get you away from danger to me is a bug out plan. Now, that's not going to be ideal for everybody. Some people, when they hear bug out, they think, you know, knife, coffee cans, some fishing line, and they're going out to the woods. But that's not realistic with you know, with kids and stuff. Gornall's in Alaska. How are you doing? Um, which governor would that be, Tina? I totally missed that. Um, I thought about talking about that in the morning, Bamajan. I did write that down earlier. I saw that they're calling it the I heard last night it was the Ministry of Truth, which that don't sound shady. If that's the real name, doesn't that sound shady? The Ministry of Truth. That sounds like straight up World War II Germany style stuff there. That just makes me feel really good, you know, knowing they're delivering the truth with a name like that. And it came one day after Elon Musk bought Twitter. So they are, I think they're gearing up for the midterm elections. They don't want the wrong message, being the message of freedom, to blast out. Yeah, you know it, man. I've always said, as long as the sailboat is stocked down with stuff that you're going to need, yeah, man, you can avoid a lot of threats that way. Yeah, it is, Sharon. We're there. We're Orwellian at this point. Stuff that is happening in our country, man, 5 years ago, I wouldn't believed it, you know, because 5 years ago, the stuff that's happening here was happening in China. It was mainstream there, not here. We have went a long way, and I don't mean that in a good way. I'm not either, Kelly. Chat is so slow. I'm not used to it either. Marcus, what's up, brother? How you doing? The seventh hour. How are you? Okay, I need to check that out. Lynette Zhang. I keep hearing that name. Several people, one of the moderators has even begged me to bring her on Shotgun Saturday Night. And the thing is, I don't mind bringing people on Shotgun Saturday Night, but some of the people that I bring over, I'm just like, it's hard to interview them because I'm in total awe. So if you're kind of new to Prepper Nation, I'm friends with a couple of people outside of the internet. We chat every so often, and one of them, if you're a Survivor fan, is Coach Ben Wade. And I actually talked him into coming on for a Shotgun Saturday Night back in the day. He's an awesome dude, the Dragon Slayer. And the other one is Billy Mitchell. I've yet to get him over here, Pac-Man World Champion. But he's a little bit strange. He talks in third person a lot. I think it's strange anyway. Just got off work. Marcus, somebody's got to make the money for Joe Biden, man. We appreciate you working hard for the other half. Let me see. Southwest Virginia Dynamite, I'm very familiar with that. That is just north of me. So I'm in an area, I don't want to give away too much, but I'm in an area, I'm like on the state line. Surrey County is in North Carolina, and then you cross immediately over into Virginia and Cana, Virginia, and that's Southwest Virginia. I think, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I know where you're talking about, and it's beautiful there. Tina says she can actually read the chats. Um, Yeah, somebody at some point had mentioned Christian at Ice Age Farmer. I'm like, first of all, that dude's a heavy hitter. It's hard to get somebody with that much clout on our channel. And second, he's so smart that I would feel really stupid trying to interview the man. So I'm like, you know, I don't know about all that. Tell me what you mean by junk silver, any kind of silver. I wish I had some out here, but you'll have silver bullion. In silver bullion, these are going to normally be 1 ounce rounds. You can get the generics, or you can get generic. Just means it's 1 ounce of silver, but it was not printed by the U.S. Mint. Or you can get like silver eagles and things. Junk silver is going to be older silver. These can be older dimes. This can be older silver jewelry and stuff. It doesn't mean that it's junk. It just, you're not going to get top price for it. It just means you're going to get the junk silver price, but people still chase it all day long. Some people prefer it, actually, the older coins and things. I think so. I do. A former NATO commander today actually warned the West to gear up for war. And I'm like, where you at, son? We've been gearing up. I've been gearing up for war. I think it is coming. I think I converted a liberal. There you go, to the right. Truth Social. Send them there. That just launched today, I think. USA Prepping. Yeah, there's several different places to get it. You want to make sure that it's a reputable dealer if you're buying online, at least. I need to bring some silver out sometime, but you can test silver, like if you go into a pawn shop or even a coin shop, with a decent sized magnet. If it picks up off the table or the counter or whatever, you don't want it. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. There are other ways though. But once you find a reputable dealer, if they got a silver round for $7 and it's coming from China, it's probably not real. I mean, if it's too good to be true, you probably don't want it. I just bought my first freezer, gonna try and fill it up with meat and butter. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. We didn't lose a ton because we found it pretty early on, but when they go out, if you have them loaded down, you can lose a lot of stuff. But if it's brand new, you ain't got to worry about that probably for years. Yeah, and selling prepper said Vladimir Putin said that any weapons going to Ukraine are now targets. I can't blame him. I don't want to get into the middle of like Ukraine versus Russia, but I don't blame him. This would be the same concept as China sending in stuff to back up or reinforce Russia. They're bound to look at this as hostile. I can't believe they haven't jumped on the West already. Meg says, I'm concerned about a world war. My son's 6-month deployment has turned into an 8-month deployment with no return date. Yeah, continue to pray. What I will say, most of the folks that are deployed over there right now are, they're in Poland or they're behind the good lines, if you will. They're not really in any immediate danger right now. The biggest issue is the thief in chief and the fact that he doesn't know what's going on. I mean, this dude is bumbling. He did an interview or something today where he was trying to threaten Russia, and it was so bad. He was saying that we're going to accommodate Russia and we're going to make them pay. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? That's the guy that decides whether or not troops go in at the end of the day. Theoretically, I don't know. Maybe somebody else is picking it for him. Who knows? U.S. Soldier for Life, how you doing? I'm sorry to hear it, man. Couldn't access the video chat. I'm sorry about that, brother. I dropped the link over there. I don't know what happened there. I am sorry. Squatch America, we nabbed 7 silver buffalo rounds. Those are very popular today at a local gold and silver store. Yeah, and you'll have people that collect. Some people are very specific. Like it's got to be, an eagle, for example, or a buffalo, and it's got to be certain dates. I'm not that way. I figure an ounce of silver is an ounce of silver. I probably don't want one if it's got Joe Biden on it, but beyond that, I'll collect anything else. I mean, I've got them with Santa Claus on them where I found good deals. Oklahoma Prepper Mom. Hey, everyone. Glad to finally catch a live broadcast. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And the ones that are joining late, thank y'all for supporting me outside of the main channel. We usually get flagged over there twice a week. And there's this whole, I call it a rigmarole or a process where you have to file an appeal. You have to wait a day or so. And during that day or so, it's not the loss of money so much as it locks me out of all of that monetization stuff. And they will pile commercials in there. People will complain, man, I'm getting hit with 20 commercials. I'm like, I'm locked out of it. I can't do anything about it. And so I have to go in and, we were just talking about Lynette Zhang, Nana. Believe it or not, we really were. Not even 5 minutes ago. That's always welcome here. Okay, so Meg, right now, all we have going, believe it or not, we have potatoes. We skipped on the tires. A lot of people said don't do it in tires. We went with 5-gallon buckets, a lot of them. Right now, that's what we have is the seed potatoes in. We've got the soil and stuff in on the raised beds. My wife has not planted that stuff yet. Whatever she's planting, she says it's not time yet. And we got like a week and a half, I think, before she puts that stuff in. You can, if you have a coin shop or even a pawn shop, Tina, that's reputable, nothing too shady, you can go in and just start with one, and go from there. You know, and and a coin shop especially, they can get you started out on that stuff because you can dump a lot of money into it, or you can start out very small. And as a prepper, if you're not trying to like move your 401k into precious metals, you don't need a ton. You know, I would say $300 or $400 worth should be enough because that's going to be stuff that you can grab and go with. Like Venezuela, for example, when they collapsed, a couple of 1 ounce rounds and a family of 4 could have eaten all month, you know, when people were starving. Or, you know, let's say you had 3 or 4, not only could you have eaten, but you could have gotten out of there and went somewhere else entirely. So it doesn't take a whole lot to get out of SHTF, but some people will not barter for it, even during the worst of times. Some people just don't like it. Well, I know we will not be doing corn. We don't really have the room for that. I think she had mentioned uh, peppers and tomatoes that I know of. Maybe squash. The squash usually does pretty well in this area. And all of that I can eat it, but I don't really care for tomatoes all that much. Not my favorite. At least I don't have to worry about putting on a tie tonight. 40 people in here, right? Yeah, you're welcome, Tina. So, what do you folks want to cover tomorrow? Like, what do y'all think the biggest topics are, without scaring people half to death? Because again, truth social lost, but you always have your Trump haters over there. I don't want to agitate them too much. And then again, you have the Ministry of Truth kicking off, and then you have again the former commander of NATO telling the West go ahead and prepare for war. All of this kind of stuff. They're calling for a deep recession as well. Like, no kidding. I like it. Somebody said they like pickle beets. I like pretty much anything that's pickled. Encrypting our emails and purchases to protect us from the Ministry of Truth. Selling prepper, you probably know how to do all that stuff. You're a technical guy. I kind of sort of know what they're asking here, but I'm not a tech whiz. War and the infringements on the First and Second Amendments. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's the First and Second Amendments, they've been doing it for so long. I think most people have just gotten numb to that. Elon and Trump. Do y'all trust Elon? That's a good question. Part of me says, well, he's with the Economic Forum and he's not to be trusted. And part of me says, the moment he bought Twitter, the Biden administration was in scramble mode. Like they're truly scared that free speech is going to happen. Okay, the Second Amendment. All right. Um, okay, a Dollar Tree haul. I can do that soon enough. The Prepping 101 playlist over on the channel has a lot of the newbie type stuff. And we did a Shotgun Saturday Night. Of course, it's been months ago now. I lose track of time here. I'm getting old. But there was a lot of newbie stuff there. But yeah, I can do a $1.25 tree haul sometime soon. Absolutely. I do not trust Musk. I was telling somebody in an email yesterday, man, they put this man on a pedestal fast. Like he went from almost, everybody knew who he was, but within 2 weeks, he was kind of in the background to this man might win president if he runs at this point. I mean, that fast. How to vet BS from truth. Okay. Propaganda. Um, yeah, I mean, that's a good topic. It's something that we have covered a couple of times, but propaganda, the golden rule with propaganda is once you figure out it's propaganda, it's not going to work on you. So yeah, they are slick. Sometimes some MSNBC, they're horrible. They're really bad at it. It's obvious that it's propaganda there. Chris, mental health in SHTF. A lot of people dealing with that right now between the pandemic and prices of everything. He was he was talking about buying Coke, I think. I saw that. I don't know if that was a joke. I was half asleep this morning. It's impossible to tell the difference, Sharon, if you're getting it from one source. But if you kind of shop around for information and you get different takes on it, you start to figure out who's lying the worst. They all lie a little bit. But yeah, I mean that's probably the main thing is to shop around and get information from all kinds of different places. My opinion on Elon Musk buying Twitter is that he's got to be better than the Saudis, though most of it. I think he's gonna be more fair on Twitter, but I think that we don't need to elevate him to the point where we're ready to put the man in the White House or anything. I kind of feel like that's what they're setting him up for, if an eventual White House run, maybe not this time around, assuming we have a country. Yeah, no, thank you. Uh, just because he's good at making money and he says he likes free speech, that ain't enough for me. Good in the woods. That's a great topic. Somebody on Patreon, and they were fair to say it. I think it was earlier this week when I'd posted a list of all of the plants and facilities. They said, don't jump to conclusions. I don't remember who it was. They said, don't jump to conclusions because this kind of stuff does happen. And they're right to say it. It is kind of on par, but a lot of the grain specifically is being targeted or randomly catching on fire, whatever the case may be. And that just happens to be what is being impacted by the war in Ukraine. And it sort of makes me wonder, you know, is it random? Is it being done by folks here in the United States? Or is this something, or operatives from maybe Russia tampering with stuff because they know that it's going to hurt the United States? Triple T Tony, he wasn't born here. I didn't know that. Thank you. Yeah, Handy Prepper, I'm gonna be live in the morning. So if there's anything you want to cover tomorrow morning, I'm more than happy to write it down, and hopefully we'll get to it in the morning. Yeah, and then Saturday night again, that's pre-recorded, but it's a shopping trip with Caveman James, and horrible. I just want to tell you, horrible. When he got done buying stuff and he overspent on so much nonsense, he left like $20 for food and water, and he didn't even get water. Just to give you all a spoiler alert, I'm like, son, you're gonna die. After we got done, there's a Subway in the Walmart, and we stopped. I bought him lunch, and I'm like, he's like, thanks. I'm like, man, consider this your last supper of sorts, because if it breaks out, you're dead, man. This is the last meal you're gonna eat. I did not catch Glenn Beck. No, I've been gone most of the day, Meg. Uh, we're talking about the possibility, Triple T. He hasn't announced it or anything. It's just it's kind of like he's all of a sudden a shooting star out of nowhere, you know. And I don't put anything past the power players. Fires in England also. Okay, South Africa. Yeah, I didn't know that, guys. Thank you. Well, I don't want to spoil too much. No, he didn't mention fish sticks, but he mentioned breakfast cereal, as in, like, I think he was looking at Cocoa Krispies, or no, Cocoa Puffs, the round puffs and stuff. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, man. Um, no, he has to wear shoes in Walmart. Yep. Oh, I didn't watch the video. I saw it in the inbox, and I saw the you'd sent over a picture as well. I did look at the picture. I haven't had a chance, brother, to watch the video just yet. It's still over there. Even over here, Dynamite's like, man, y'all doing us dirty. Yeah, I've heard some. I don't know. See, I've never seen, so I can't say for sure, but I've heard people, a lot of people have emailed and things, and I've seen it in chat where they're talking about putting microchips in people and Elon Musk being behind that whole idea. And if that's true, that's not good as well. No, Meg, it's not a stretch. It's actually overdue. I was I was planning on being back in time to do the live stream tonight. It's just that I don't come into these with any notes or intros or anything. Musk is not self-made. I mean, now I think somebody in Texas, a wealthy farmer or something, I just read before I went live, offered to donate land to Elon Musk if he'll move Twitter to Texas. And I'm like, man, don't give this guy too much credit for buying Twitter. I mean, that's really all he's done so far. Yeah, see, Laura, I've had several people tell me that. Um, and I've seen it in chat and things. And, that's, again, that is not good if that's the case. Dr. Chuck Missler taught about transhumanism. Transhumanism is bad, bad stuff. Really bad, like we talked about this week. I think Bama Jen was the one that sent that intel, but really bad stuff. And that, unfortunately, is our future. We talk about the reset and stuff, but it's all tied together. They want to pull off the reset, but it's all about transhumanism, and they're using, in my opinion, folks, they're using climate change to achieve that, or that is their plan. Okay, yeah, Triple T, I need to do that. Some people have sent stuff over, but the thing is, it's like obscure sources, or their uncle's blog or something like that. It's not really something that you can vet. he is an extremely evil man. And what makes him so dangerous is he's so wide open about it. You know, he realizes he has the ear of the the power players. I don't want to call them the cabal because I don't really know, but the people that have the most money that are more than likely running the show. He has their ear. They love him. They love his theories and the fact that he's so wide open about it. And he kind of projects like confidence. You know what I mean? And it's not good whatsoever. I don't know. I've seen Teslas, but I'm not a huge fan of the concept of the electric cars and stuff. I know that's where we're going. I know that's where we're headed, but I still don't like it. I was having this debate with somebody on Twitter, a debate last night. She was dressed like the Emperor off Star Wars in her biopic, but she was kicking and screaming and throwing down slurs on people because she was pro electric car. And I'm like, look, I think the average charge time is 30 minutes. And I've heard horror stories where people will have to wait in line just to get to the charging station. And I was like, if that's you, if that's really what you want to do, go for it. The car is probably never going to pay for itself. You'd have to own it 50 years. But if you think that's making a difference, you do you. But they're just not for me. Yeah, these Bam and Jam, these people are evil. I mean, they really are. They're trying to play creator. And again, the one guy, the Israeli author, that I can't pronounce his name half the time, he'll tell you that in the wide open. We need to get rid of the creator and we need to become the creator. And he says the elites, like he says it in the wide open. He doesn't hide it. Invest in copper mines if you think electric cars are the future. Laura, I don't think that's very far off at all, to be honest with you. Don't feel silly about that. I think, look, when you look at Russia, which by the way, Russia is not a communist country anymore. Not the way China is, for example. But when you look at that group of countries that kind of seem to be buddy buddy, they're power players, but they're not down with the economic forum. They're not down with stuff like NATO and these umbrella groups, kind of these global groups. They don't want any part of it. And I think that's what a lot of what we're seeing in Ukraine right now. This is opinion. I think we're seeing a proxy war in Ukraine, which just means Ukraine is being pumped full of weapons, new technology and stuff like this, and they're being given marching orders by the West. And then, Russia, of course, is doing their thing, and they're using a lot of loyal Ukrainians that are loyal to Russia. And we're kind of fighting this war in Ukraine right now without actually fighting it. But I think at some point we're gonna fight it, and it's because of what you're saying. They're two groups of elites, and they're just not getting along. The only chip I'm putting in me is a Dorito. I can't argue with that, man. If you can afford Doritos now, look, I'll be getting what's it called, great value or whatever. Yeah, I get it, man. There are actually three world orders. There may be more than two, but I guarantee you there's at least two going at it. And they don't want to start a nuclear war. And I was telling someone in an email last night, we were talking about the proxy war in Ukraine. I said the problem that the West has, the US and its allies, you can't go in and force Russia to play by your rules, to get on board. You can't force them because they're nuclear power, and they have no problem, I think, volleying those things off. You can't sanction them the way that America is used to sanctioning other countries because they're such a huge exporter. So many of America's allies depend on exports from Russia. Russia's over there turning oil off right now. Germany's doing this. They want to ally with the United States, but they can't afford to lose the exports. So you really can't force them to do anything, and they know it. And that's why they're being so brazen and they're doing whatever they want to do. Because the way they look at it, Russia looks at it, and I can't blame them for this at least. They see NATO and they view it as a threat. They don't want it on their border. They don't want it near their country. And they're saying we will defend our country. Now, as far as Ukraine, I don't know exactly what's going on there. No, it's not just you, Laura. I promise. I have these back channel conversations with people all the time. It just means you're thinking beyond mainstream media, which is really good. Hey, my friend is a cook at Frito. Oh, I get it. Free Doritos. That's marriage material. Free Doritos right there. Never tried that together. Tried them both, like them both, never put two and two together. It might be the salt on the ruffles. Bama Jen, I hope not. I still, to this day, think if Michelle Obama runs, we're in serious trouble because that lady's so popular with a lot of people. And another person that I have my eye on, I don't know that Hillary would win. Um, I'm not convinced Joe Biden's going to be the man running in 2024. Mark Cuban. I'm worried about Mark Cuban too because he is popular and he acts like he wants to run for president. Coffee first, then speak. Good night. Thank you for being here. Did we just become best friends? That's what I'm saying, Gornals. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whoever's giving out the free Doritos, that's if they're single, that's marriage material right there. You work out the rest of the details later. Cheese Doritos is the only kind, son. Ranch is good, but cheese all day, every day. Outlaw Farms, I'm sorry. I posted it. I think I did. Um, over on Patreon. Yeah, I don't want to see him run. Because he's smart enough to win. I think he's smart enough. He's political enough. He's got enough money, and he's got enough friends in the lobby, the swamp already. I think he would be dangerous. If he was the man. No, it's not any better. I'm not saying it's any better. I'm just saying I'm more worried about him. I think Hillary being a two-time loser. Oh man, it feels so good to say that. She's kind of tarnished. I don't know if Democrats are going to run her a third time. They might. Who knows? He is Trump-esque, but for the wrong reasons. You're right. He's more of a populist that thinks like a Democrat, like a extremely left-leaning Democrat. And it's the populists that worry me. Because Trump was a populist. This is how he got in. He spoke what people wanted to hear. And I think Michelle Obama has that kind of clout, and I hate to admit it, but she's a really good speaker. And then Mark Cuban as well. Malachi's Corner, we have not had any trouble finding them. All of the stores around here, it wasn't that way last year, but this year we are actually finding those all over the place. Um, Queen, what do you think about setting up a way to connect with each other through your Patreon channel for bartering? I wouldn't know how to do it. Now over on our Facebook, under files, under the section files, the moderators, it took them a long time. They set this up, but it's broken down by state, and you can actually find nation members by state over there. You may be able to explore that and do that. But as far as me setting it up, I wouldn't know the first thing about setting that up. Tina, yeah, so far Michelle Obama is not really interested, or she claims to not really be interested in it. But who knows? I mean, we still got a long time before 2024. November 2024. That's how much longer we have Biden at the very least, unless they remove him somehow. I don't blame you for quitting Facebook. Not a bit. I mean, I can do shout outs and stuff like that in the chat in the mornings, and sometimes people will shout out where they're from and states and things. You don't know which chats you're in? Oh man. Welcome to Prepper Nation. I lurk a lot at night when I'm at home making notes and stuff, and sometimes I forget where I'm lurking, to be honest with you. I was lurking at Squatches tonight, but I think Diabetic Prepper had something coming up too. I just want to make it to November the 22nd. 2024 seems so far away, doesn't it? Malachi, I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that she has some clout because Obama, of course, is popular with his crowd, and she was, in many ways, she was just as popular, if not more popular, than he was with that voting base. And then she's a good speaker. She's a good speaker, and she would do a lot of damage. She's got charisma and stuff like this, and I know that they're trying to get her to run. I hope, as a conservative, I hope she doesn't. And if she does, um, we the conservatives better find somebody with a lot of charisma to run against her. Melissa, I'm sorry. Yeah, what I did is I posted over there, and you have to click it, and it should bring you straight to YouTube. A couple of people have complained about that. I'm sorry if y'all are having trouble. Nobody would. You forgot to mention that you get free Doritos. That would get you some some responses. Just say, I know a guy. I am a lurker, handy prepper. I do lurk. Sometimes in the mornings, not every day. Sometimes I'm busy up until we go live, but sometimes I'll sit down and just watch the chat and stuff like that. Not a whole lot, Mames, but now that you're here, I have a feeling we're going to be in some trouble. How are you doing, man? Yeah, because Trump wouldn't. Trump's issue. Okay, now I'm not like against Trump or anything. Okay, I would much rather have him than Joe Biden. No kidding. Trump's issue is so many people despise that man on the left and even the middle. I don't think he would ever win another election. Um, all he's going to do, I think they would run him again because he is very popular on the right and he does have a large crowd, but I don't know if it's enough to win, especially if vans come rolling in the middle of the night. So a candidate that could actually win is going to get knocked out because Trump's there. So I don't want to seem like I'm negative Donald Trump or anything, but people would just come out of the woodwork to vote against the man. They can't stand him. I mean, they despise him on the left. Why are people's names different colors? I don't know unless that has something to do with the coffee club on YouTube. I don't really know, Tina. Sorry. Um, Good in the woods. I got a little. I don't want to spill it. I got a little creamer in there. It's coffee, man. I do have a little cream in there though. Um. Okay, thank you, Coffee Club Green. Thank you. Like I said, we were breaking down the Crate Club today, and just to forewarn y'all, when the Crate Club video pops up, and also on Shotgun Saturday night because James was here, um, he does drop a couple of curse words. Just want to forewarn everybody here on Patreon. But the reason he was dropping them was because they sent a bag of coffee in the crate. and it was $17. And he's like, who the F would pay $17 for a bag of coffee? And so we got off onto the coffee subject, and he was like, I'm not paying more than $4 and whatever it was, and it's got to be Folgers or Maxwell House. I said, okay, brother. Speaking of coffee. Well, Chris, I think he won last time. This is a opinion of mine, but I think in order for a conservative to win, they're at least going to have to carry a lot of independent votes. They're going to have to sway the independents to the right, and especially if there's something going on behind a curtain. So I don't know if he can do that. I think he's pretty hated. He's kind of a lightning rod, if you will. Laura, yeah. I used to work with truck drivers. I can only imagine. Uh, the mechanic that used to work on my stuff back in the day, he had been a truck driver for almost 30 years, and he didn't actually do much mechanic work. He would just sit back and drink coffee and tell you stories about stuff he had seen at truck stops and stuff. How can you possibly prepare for World War III besides a bunker? Normal things anyone can do. So you're limited in what you can do. Like if it goes to the point of nukes, there's not tons that you can do. But I don't think we're getting to that point. If we see a World War III, I don't know that it's going to be fought here in the United States. But I think a war effort is going to empty our country out of resources, money, stuff like this. And if we don't have stuff here, resource wise, it's going to feel like the Great Depression on steroids. So, what you can do is make sure that you have the stuff you need in case it does kick off, and just try and ride it out, without too many people knowing that you got it stacked to the rafters. I would pay for the coffee snob all the way. No Maxwell House. Yeah, he was like, man, I ain't doing, I ain't spending $17 on this. What's up, Prepper Trucking? How you doing, brother? I do too. Wish I could afford one of those bunkers. I'm not a huge fan of living in a bunker long term, like I was saying on the video this morning, but man, there's some really, really nice ones too. Um, Somebody was telling me that the other morning that they did, Tina, arson, I think they said, the Atlas Bunker Company, and I hate it because Ron, if you've never watched, they have a channel on YouTube. He's a cool guy. Pro Trump, pro American, pro Second Amendment. He'll tell everybody pro Jesus, and he makes these bunkers, but yeah, they're expensive. He makes them for the military and stuff too, so they don't skimp. It will, Dynamite. It will empty our country of young men also. Well, it could be. He says, John, I hate to disagree with you, but if there's a World War III, it will end up here. It could be that it's here on American soil. Um, I don't know. It's hard to say, brother. I don't know. The only thing we can do is be prepared, try and be prepared as best as possible. You can't prepare for everything, especially on a budget and stuff. But if it were to come here, and if we were already dealing with war shortages and rations and things, it would be very, very bad in this country. It would look like a hellscape. Idea for shotgun items beyond food, freedom seeds, water, and medical. Okay, we can do that. I've already got shotgun ready to go for this Saturday. It's already been filmed and stuff, but we can, yeah. All this talk about bunkers makes me want to watch the movie Blast from the Past. There's another good one. What is it? Cloverfield Lane or something, I think is what it's called. It's got the guy from Roseanne in it. I don't remember his name right off, but it's a really good movie where the dude is going nuts and he's got the bunker and stuff. Okay, the fire just got their office. Thank you. I think he was having some health issues a while back too. But yeah. When the election was going on, man, he's got guts. He was flying out to Los Angeles and he was wearing his Trump hat on the airplane, and he got off at LAX wearing his Trump hat, and people were cussing him and stuff. He's just filming it. Awesome, thank you. It doesn't have to be a big one. It doesn't have, like Rudy at the Alaska Prepper, like the bunker he's got, the outdoor one. I would deal with that. That would be awesome. I would love to see Alex Jones unshadow banned, and I know that he goes off of the deep end sometimes, but he is a truth speaker, and they shadow banned the man because he was speaking so much truth, in my opinion. Dynamite, it is. We were just talking about me and Jack, Outlaw Prepper, when we were camping, we were talking about all the caves in that area. He knows of several, and I was thinking, man, if you could stock it up and it was concealed enough, man, you could live a long time in a cave. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you really could. It's a natural bunker in a way. Never seen it. I know what you're talking about. Ready Player One. Never watched the movie. I've seen it passing through the suggestions and stuff. I need to sit down and watch that. Alex Jones is funny, but sometimes, I mean, when he's in the zone and he's slamming stuff down and he's snarling into the microphone, I'm like, good Lord, what's going on? I usually play it in the background when I'm doing dishes or something during the day. But I don't know, Dynamite or anybody else, what do y'all think about using caves during, I mean, it would have to be really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have to be in World War III, and as Sailing Prepper was saying, there would have to be boots on the ground here and immediate threats all over the place. How long could you survive if you were stacked, if you had stuff stacked in a cave and stuff? Yeah, he spares no expense. He goes after them all by name. He throws it down. So I got a few things that we can talk about tomorrow. Anything else to add to the conversation, y'all? If you rolled in late, anything else that you would like to add? Because we're going to be live streaming tomorrow morning. Um, Depends on the cave. Okay, yep. Really? It's too late, man. It's too late at night. It's so easy a caveman can do it. Come on, man. Yeah, you would have to come out of the cave, I think, Tina, from time to time. But I've thought about that. We were talking about that when we went camping, and then also all of the like the fallout shelters. At one point in time, they had fallout shelters all over the place. I think they were circa World War II. They're bound to still be in a lot of these places, but I don't know of a like a resource online that would tell you exactly where they were. Maybe if you live in a city or a smaller town and you're very familiar with it, you would know where these things were located, but I don't know what kind of shape they would be in. Chris, you would be eating bats if it got that bad. I wouldn't eat bats. I'm not suggesting that you do. I'm just making a joke. Forget AR or AK Doritos or Lay's. That's the question. If they're cheese, just plain cheese Doritos all day long. Otherwise, nah. I can do the ranch, all this other stuff they coming out with this hot, this tremendously hot Doritos. I can't stomach all that. Yes, they don't really know. Says Chris says, isn't that how the C-19 started? We don't know. You'd have to ask Dr. F himself. And from what I've seen from photos, President Obama, and I'm sure there were a few others tied into it. Pet prepping, okay. Just bought bagged dog food tonight, actually. There wasn't a whole lot to choose from. Doritos, yeah, there you go. What? I've never heard of chocolate chip potato chips, ever. You would have a heart attack if one of the bats landed on your head. We see them here at night, like, we can sit out on the deck. They don't come down where we're at, but you can see them up in the air just going through getting because so many bugs, so many insects, and they're just flying around nailing them, until it gets completely dark. Oh, that's okay, man. We still got a few minutes. I'm glad y'all are here. Still got a nasty cough. I got an inhaler, the albuterol and all that. But then, I have to go out. I have to work outside. I have to mow and stuff. And my wife's constantly telling me you need to put a mask on when you mow, and I just don't like the idea of it. So I'm doing it to myself. That could be taken out of context. uh, right outside of Washington, D.C., and it was created by Dr. Pauly in 1994. I didn't know that. I've never heard of that. I mean, I would try 'em. The two strangest chips that we have in my area that some people would think were strange are ketchup flavored, and we have dill pickle, and they're both the bomb. The ketchups are a little harder to find. I can't remember the company. There's one company right off that makes them. I want to say Utz, but I might be wrong on that. Prepper Truckin says if it happens, don't go too far into the mines. The gas removes oxygen, and you can't tell until you're passed out. Yeah, I mean, my wife's probably right. Wear a mask and the allergies won't be so bad. But I just, it's already. I'm push mowing. I'm out here sweating. I don't want to wear a mask and not be able to breathe halfway and all this stuff. I know it sounds like I'm whining, but yeah, they are. They're incredible. It's almost enough to smack you in the face, but they're so good you just keep going back. Facebook folks are looking for your live feed now. How do they know about the live feed? it's it's for Patreon only. Uh it's one of the perks y'all get over here. I mean, you're welcome to share it with your friends or whoever. Um do whatever you want to do, but I didn't post anything about it on Facebook. I will probably post a replay on our backup channel just to kind of catalog it in case the channel were to get shut down. Claritin, they've got, oh man, they prescribed Zyrtec, however you say it. It's over the counter. Like, I could buy it over the counter, but the insurance paid for it when they prescribed it. So went ahead and got some of that, and then they prescribed an inhaler. John, a mask for mowing and a mask for everything else. We did I think we did movies and TV shows a while back. I can't remember how long, a couple of months at least. I think it was on a Saturday night. If you go through the Shotgun Saturday Night playlist, uh people, it's weird because people that are kind of new to the channel, they don't know we've had other creators over here. I was just telling y'all, Coach from CBS Survivor, we did a show together. Rudy at the Alaska Prepper has been over here. He's fantastic. Like, there have been other creators. We had a couple that were called the Asylum, and anybody on Patreon was joining the show with me, but we don't really do that anymore because YouTube was flagging like mad crazy. They were flagging everything. Somebody would come up on the panel for 2 minutes and they would start spouting off on Dr. F and all this stuff, and then immediately we would get flagged. Okay, I'll try that. Is that over the counter as well, Bamagen? Because I really don't want to go back to the doctor. I was I was worried when I went to the doctor. I'm like, man, I know it's not C19, but I was worried they were gonna try and test me for it. They were gonna try and browbeat me. Why haven't you gotten the whiskey shot and all this stuff? But my doctor's really cool. He's actually against it. So um he he has a Tea Party flag hanging in his office. So he was like, I know it's not that, you don't have any of the symptoms and all this stuff. Better late than never. There you go. Well, unless you're trucking, and then you might get paid less, brother. But just blame it on the wife. Fermented goldenrod will help your allergies. Well, let me write that down. Fermented goldenrod. All right. Yeah, because I do have horrible allergies. Well, hello, American trucker's wife. How are you doing? I've had it. I was tested a couple of times for it earlier on when I had the Delta and stuff like that. So I can't sit here and say I've never been tested for it. USA Prepping, good night. Thank you for being here. So I can't say I've never been tested for it, but I really don't want to be anymore. Having the Delta, I kind of know what it feels like to have it. You feel extremely drugged down. I mean, to the point where it feels like you have the flu times 10. And I just knew this time, I'm feeling fine. I'm coughing, I'm sneezing a lot and stuff like that. Flonase. Now I do know what that is. I've seen that. Yeah, no kidding. Six. And I know that you're being honest about that. You're not, that's not sarcasm. 6,000 a week. Um, a couple of truckers here have actually sent me um pictures where they've gotten gas and stuff, and it's just unreal. I can't afford to be late anywhere. No kidding. You drifting your own fumes when you get there. Malachi's, it hit me pretty hard. I was legit in bed for 10 or so days to where I wasn't getting up much at all. I would get up and I would have to have help walking through the house. That was the scary part. My wife would have to help me walk through the house. I would go and shower. After about 10 days, I got to the point where I was up during the day. I was set out on the deck and stuff, and I was trying to move around because I had a little pneumonia and I didn't want to get it, I didn't want it to be worse. So I was up moving around and trying to stay hydrated. Snort Fireball. Sadly, I know what Fireball is, brother, and I don't know if I would snort it. I mean, it might work. I don't know. But yeah. And I was taking showers, and my wife would get these man, I don't even know what it was, like menthol or something. And she would put it in the bottom of the shower, and it was just like almost like a day spa or something up in there. And then I would get dressed and I would go back in there, and men are babies when we're sick anyway, as it is. But I would lay in there and watch John Wayne movies, and she would just bring me food. Not saying I miss it, but it had advantages. I ain't had time to watch John Wayne since then, if that tells you anything. 2 horseradish root. That'll clear your head up. Okay. Vapor bath. That's pretty much Outlaw Farms. That's pretty much what it was, but it was just shower. But yeah. Vicks shower bomb. That might have been it. I don't know. But yeah, folks, y'all have anything else to add that we can talk about tomorrow before we go? Because once this is done, no kidding, I'm going to refill the coffee cup. I'm about halfway empty. And then I'm going to turn around and make notes for the live stream in the morning. So we can talk about whatever. Saturday is already planned out, scheduled. That's normally y'all's show. So yeah, I'm letting the folks here on Patreon do the show tomorrow. Whatever y'all want to talk about. I've not. Again, she is one where I don't know that much about medical. Like my wife has done some of the first aid and she has CPR and stuff for work, but that lady's really smart when it comes to medical. And I would just be sitting over in the corner learning like everybody else. I wouldn't even know what to ask her, honestly, on the medical stuff. Yeah, Chris, that's my life. Um, it's 10:19 here as well. I'll be up till 2 or 2:30, and then I'll be back up at 6:30. Um, helping with the kids and stuff and getting them out to school. And and then I'll be back on live stream and people will be typing in, "You look tired, you need to get some sleep." And I'm like, "When, son?" When? Lines in the sand. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and write that down. I don't like to tiptoe around anything, prepper trucking, but we can talk about it a little bit. I might have to skirt the algorithm a little bit on that one. Mainly because once we get on that topic, you're gonna have a bunch of people calling for violence, and I really don't want them calling for violence. Yeah, yeah, Teresa, and then I take Sundays off completely. So I rest up and sack out. Um, yep, on Sundays pretty much when we're not grocery shopping. Tina, good night. Hopefully, see you in the morning, man. Good night, Handy Prepper. Yeah, 4-ish. Sometimes it's, if I'm doing notes fast enough, sometimes maybe 5 hours. Freeze dried versus canned. Okay, we can do that. Versus canned. All right. Let's see here. Surrounded by kindergartners. That's kind of how I feel when I'm with the outlaw preppers. That's kind of how I felt like today. I was surrounded by a non-prepper who was a kindergartner. But he's funny. I like him. Foraging, perhaps. Perhaps. I'm not master forager over here, but I can kick it out to the chat and see what we can get in the morning, okay? Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for the support here on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. I am sorry that some people were having trouble getting in here. I don't know what's up with that. But I will be live tomorrow morning unless the North Koreans are dropping down in parachutes. Other than that, I will be here. I'll be live. I'll be living on coffee like an IV, and we'll be talking about this stuff right here. Good night. Thank y'all very much for being here. God bless.